Hello, Facebook. Hi, everyone. It's always that awkward moment, isn't there, where you're kind of like waiting for one to start and one for the other to start. So if you're new around these parts, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you guys can join me. So today we are basically doing, basically the Handmade Bosses business reset. Okay, so if you don't know, over the last 3 weeks, and we're going to keep going for another 3 weeks after this one, so it's a 6-week mini course, we're basically resetting your business essentially. So we're wiping the slate clean. It's kind of like a hard reset. So if your PC or laptop's ever played up and you've like held in the on button, this is essentially what we're doing for your business. Hi Vixnits, hi Sophie, Tiny Treasures Gift Company, hello. Grid Designed by Jay, hello. Baby Moller, hello. Instagram names are always more difficult to read out. I'm just going to wait for a hot minute and make sure that I am live and everything is going to plan. So I'm just going to make sure before I get into the deep realms of this. So we're going to get started about 5 past the hour and we're going to go for about 20 minutes or so. But what I really want to know is I saw so many posts in the Facebook group saying that, and if you want the link to join that, the link will be in the description box below. If you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Instagram, it will be in the link in bio. And if you're watching on Facebook, it will be around here somewhere, or you're probably in the Facebook group if you're watching on Facebook. But essentially, I got loads and loads of fantastic comments, all from you guys, basically showing me your decluttering, and I absolutely loved it. So do let me know if you guys are doing any of the weeks, whether you're doing week 1, week 2, week 3. What I would say is that if you haven't watched the first couple of weeks, and I would definitely go back and watch those. Now, these recordings will be kept, so if you want to come back and rewatch this, you are more than welcome to. It just means that essentially we will be able to go back and rewatch any things that we've missed, or any lives that we've missed, or anything like that. So let me know. Hello, Grid Designed by Jay, sorry. Hi, Sarah. Hi, The Lash Addict. Hello. Let me know on Facebook. Can you hear me and see me okay? It's always good to make sure that you can hear me and see me okay. Let me know how it went, though. Let me know how the cleaning and decluttering of our office space went last week, because I know that a lot of you guys are kind of, if you're new, you might be out there saying, "Oh, Steph, how is cleaning going to like help us make more sales?" But the thing is a cluttered work area leads to a cluttered Etsy shop, leads to a cluttered financial mind, leads to a cluttered business. So it is one of those things where a clean, tidy workspace, it kind of just leads on to everything else, right? It makes sure that, when you set goals, they're going to be easy and clear. When you're doing SEO research, it's going to be easy, it's going to be clear, because everything around you is clear and you know where you're going, right? Hi, Miss Harlow. Hello. Miriam says, yep, all good. Fantastic. So we're just going to wait a couple more minutes for people to hop on. I know sometimes there is a little bit of a delay on notifications. And if you're wondering why I'm looking here and then looking there, it's because I've got a camera here and a camera there. So I'm not like ignoring you guys. Tiny Treasures Gift Company says, my under the stairs cupboard is looking top notch. Amazing. And how do you feel now that you've done that? Because I bet you bottom dollar you are, even just by doing that, you're like, you know what, I'm so much clearer. Even by clearing out old products that you're not going to sell anymore, or like supplies that you're not going to use anymore. It's kind of like, it does help you to just declutter that side of your business, and then you've got more of a path where you know where you're going. Runny Happy Repeat says, hi, first time joining a live. Oh, hello, welcome. Been soaking up all your knowledge in the past 2 weeks for my Run Ready business. Love what you do. Oh, amazing. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. Come and join us in the Facebook group, because we do share a load of stuff over there. So yeah, it's amazing to have you. Hello. So yes, let me know how you guys got on. I did get a couple of messages like, Steph, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, how do I... And it's like, there are no rules when it comes to the Handmade Bosses business reset. There are really no rules. I'm just here as your coach and as your guide, being like, hey, if you want to make more sales in your business, then it's kind of like you've got to get rid of the old to make room for the new. Okay, and I do really, really believe that there is a kind of like an energetic connection toward having clutter and having something that's not serving you anymore in your business life, whether it's in your actual space, online space, whatever it is, and getting rid of that to kind of make room for the new stuff coming into you. Hi Candle Magic, hi Samantha Jane Embroidery, hello. So today we are going to be focusing on our online space. Okay, so last week we focused on our physical space. This week we're going to kind of focus on our virtual space. Okay, now you are going to be shocked at the amount of rubbish that you find in your PC, on your phone, and on social media. You are going to be absolutely shocked. So if you've got a pen and paper, please do grab that now. If you've got your notes app on your phone, grab that up. If you are, just writing it down on, notes or Google Drive, make sure that you've got that up, because I am going to be going reasonably fast. There's a lot that we have to cover. But in the same way that we declutter our physical space, it is a really good idea to do that with your virtual space as well, because after all, we are working from iPads, we are working from, computers, we are working from desktops, we are working from laptops. Whatever you're working from on a daily basis, you don't want that to be cluttered either, because hey, not only are you going to be wasting tons of time, finding a folder, finding pictures, finding that thing that you're working on that's now buried in the downloads folder. Yes, I'm looking at you. But it's just, again, the fact of, if you're holding on to old photos, and I'm all for, keeping things, but if you're holding on to old pictures of your products and, you're having to look at them every time you're doing something new, it's kind of like you've got this backpack full of baggage, full of like business baggage that you're just carrying around for no reason, right? So let's get into it. Okay, so the first step is to clean your desktop, okay? So delete any files that you no longer need. And if you do need them, don't have like a gazillion files on your desktop. Sort them into folders, like literally sort them out so that you know what is what. And if you don't need them anymore, then that is fine. Now, another thing that I am just going to very quickly say is that if you've got an external hard drive, use that as like old stuff you want to keep hold of, but that you don't actually need for your everyday space. So for me, what I did is that I used to have like a 4 GB hard drive that I used to store everything on. I got burned by that. I'll explain more about that in a second. But essentially now, I have Google Drive, which I keep all of my day-to-day running stuff, all of the stuff that I need to run the business, and all of like it's kind of like the current account of my business files, right? And Google Drive up to, I think it's 1 or 10 gig, I'm not entirely sure, is free. So if you're not using image files, videos, anything like that, you're just doing files, then it's an amazing thing for you guys to use. But basically, you don't want to be trawling through all of this stuff all of the time, especially if you've got old product pictures all in one folder. Sort them into years, or sort them by old pictures, new pictures, whatever you have to do to really streamline your workflow. And as we know, when you're going on the desktop and you've got like a gazillion freaking files, it is so difficult to find what you need. So the first thing is to sort your desktop out, okay? Now, the next thing is to sort your downloads folder. That can very quickly become like a bit of a dumping ground. So definitely go through and sort your downloads folder. We all know that you scroll and scroll and scroll. You kind of use that as like a folder where you find things, right? But that's not what the downloads folder is for. So take the things that you want to keep out of the downloads folder and put it somewhere else, okay? And I know that if you haven't been in your downloads folder for a while, you're going to be there for literally hours doing this, but trust me, it is going to make sure that you know exactly where everything is kept. So clear that out and make sure that you keep anything you want to keep and you sort them into folders. It's kind of like the downloads folder. I like to think of it as that, that old, in the 80s and 90s, you had that like in and out tray of stuff that was like kind of making its way to a different tray. That is what your downloads folder is. Tiny Treasures Gift Company says Google Drive is up to 15 gigabyte free. Oh, thank you. I know this because I'm having to sort through mine now as I have so many pictures. Yes, exactly. And I would, if you don't want to do Google Drive, I would highly, highly, highly recommend getting an external hard drive of like 1 gig, something along those lines, and getting everything out that you don't use on a day-to-day basis. So the next thing is to uninstall any programs that you do not use. This includes Chrome apps. You would not believe how much Chrome extensions slows down your browser. If you guys are sat there saying, oh, my internet is so slow, get rid of some Chrome extensions because that will really make your life so much easier. But just literally go through your PC, and if there's anything that you don't use, get rid of it, because you know you're essentially like almost paying for it to be on your hard drive, right? If your hard drive is full, especially, that is going to really slow down your PC. So definitely just clear that out. So just literally, what have we covered so far? Clear out the desktop, clear out the downloads, and make sure to uninstall any programs and things that you don't use anymore, okay? Helen says, hello, sorry I'm late. No problem, hello. The next thing is, if you can, run an antivirus scan. This is going to make sure that your PC is wiped clean. I know we are talking about a load of boring stuff, guys, but seriously, make sure that you run a little scan. I like, there's a free one called Avast, and that's what I use if you just want to just have a little Google online and see if there's any antivirus programs out there. My husband is actually an IT manager, so he kind of does mine, and he says Avast is the best free one out there. So if you want to use something along those lines, and by all means do. It just means that, again, you're like really cleaning out your PC, you're making sure it's all in tip-top condition to get you toward those massive goals that we set in week 1, okay? So the Wax Worlds Company, hello. So the next thing is to back up your files, okay? If you have an external hard drive or you're using Google Drive, please back up your files. I mean everything on your PC that you would be upset if you lost, back it up. I cannot tell you how many, twice has this happened to me where my hard drive or external hard drive has just gone pff, okay? I would even say keep a backup of a backup, because again, something that my husband has had before is where his actual hard drive in his PC has corrupted his external hard drive, then you've lost them both. So please make sure that you do back up your files, especially like sentimental pictures and stuff like that. But also, like, if you lost your Etsy shop next week, for some reason, you would want your pictures, you would want your descriptions, you would want everything. So treat your PC the same as you would with that, okay? Please make sure to back up your files, because it is an absolute nightmare if you lose them. Helen says, we have an external hard drive that everything goes on that we don't need to use every day. Yes, exactly. The Wax World says, hello, how are you? I'm okay, thank you. How are you? Sophie says, every year I transfer all of my photos from my phone to my external hard drive on iCloud. I love it. I really recommend it. It's like having a brand new phone each year. Yes, exactly. Miriam says, that's what I need to do. Yes. Helen says it really helps with space. Yeah, and that's the thing as well. Like, it's going to slow down, whether you're using an iPad, a phone, a PC, laptop, whatever. If you're putting more stuff onto it, it is going to slow it down. So rather than going and buying like a new one, maybe just really try to slim down and put your phone or laptop on a diet. Okay, so the next thing is to sort your files and folders. We did this recently at Handmade Bosses HQ. We sorted out our Google Drive because we had folders under folders under folders. And we had like a projects folder, and then we had another folder where that project folder should actually be. And then we were kind of like, well, where is it? Is it in this folder? Is it in that folder? Just make sure to sort it in a really obvious, easy way. So that, you know, a good thing that I like to say is that if you had to employ someone tomorrow, it would have to be painfully obvious where everything was. Okay, so don't name it something obscure like pictures from 2006 craft fair in Devon. Like, just name it something really obvious. Or pictures or files or description from Shopify site dated, you know, 2010, something like that. Just put it in a really obvious way. Tiny Treasures Gift Company says, I need to do this. Currently going through 8,000 photos and videos, mainly of my children. Yes, exactly. I mean, they are lovely, but they do take up a lot of space. Rebecca Jewelry, my laptop crashed last week. Thankfully, I backed everything up 2 days before. Yes, exactly. And if you lost everything, that would have been completely gutting, right? Helen says, oh yeah, my phone is another matter entirely. 14,000 photos and videos. Yes, exactly. So even with this, right? Even with this, imagine you are on Instagram stories and you're thinking, I know I took a picture of a product that I was making, and then you're like scrolling back through your phone photos to try and find it. How many minutes are you wasting a day, a week, a year doing that? So why not just make sure that the only pictures on your phone are A, ones that you really want to just like share with other people, or B, ones that you want to post on Instagram stories or social media of any kind, right? So yes, it does honestly really, really help. Even if you spend 2 minutes a day trying to find something, you add that up over like a week, a month, a year. That is a lot of time, right? So sort your files and folders, sort and organize. Again, if you want to like just be really, really micro with this, you can just name your folders like a one-word thing. Photos, descriptions, SEO, like really, again, just make sure that if someone was to join your business tomorrow, that it would be painfully obvious where everything is. And the last thing is, this is for your PC. We're going on to phones next. Look at your email inbox. Delete any emails that you don't need, flag emails that you do, and get rid of the rest. A lot of email inboxes do start charging you if you go over a certain amount of space. Ask me how I know. So what you want to do is you want to make sure to actually delete any emails. A, because it just makes it clean and tidy, and B, so you don't miss emails. Something that I did when I first started Handmade Bosses is that I left my emails. I just like looked at the top and just scrolled down a bit, and if I found anything that I needed to respond to, it was like, yeah, cool, I'll do that. The problem with that is that there were some emails that were getting lost, and when Sophie came on board, she nearly had a stroke. But the fact of it is that emails will get lost. Okay, so I make a habit now of deleting everything that I don't need to know about, and things that I'm currently working on are kept in my inbox. And if you want to go further with this, you can even sort your inbox into folders, which I know Sophie for a fact absolutely loves. Tiny Treasures Gift Company says you can create albums in Google Photos on the drive. I'm making a business only folder that I can quickly find product photos. Yes, exactly. Folder, categorize, do all the good things, right? So now that we've done our PC, now let's go over to our phone and social media, because believe it or not, you do spend a lot of time in these places. Sophie says your inbox has never been so organized. I know. Helen says, my photos on my phone dates back to 2012. That's 10 years stored on iCloud. So I definitely need to transfer them to an external hard drive so that then I can then reduce me paying for the iCloud £2.49 a month. Yes, and exactly that as well is that another choice you've kind of almost got to make is that how long is it going to take me to do that, and is it worth £2.49 a month? And that's the other thing. That's the other way that I look at it. I'm on the £5 a month Google Drive upgrade, but for me, I'm like, I'd rather spend £5 a month knowing that that's my backup and I have everything there and it is all okay. It's all going to stay safe. Whereas obviously if you're spending like £80 on an external hard drive and you split that over the course of a year, because believe it or not, I do go through one a year, that's a lot. So yeah. So the first thing with your phone is sort out the apps on your phone and delete any that you do not use. Again, I don't know if you guys sort your phone apps into folders, but this is something that you really have to do. Again, like if you're trying to find the Instagram app, if you're endlessly scrolling to try and find Facebook or Messenger or Etsy or sell on Etsy or whatever, just sort your phone out, guys. Delete any apps that you do not want to use again, all right? You can also, like I said, sort the folders on your phone just to make it easier. I have a selling folder, a buying folder, a food folder for apps like Just Eat, and a travel folder for train apps and things like that. And that is essentially how I do it. So I know if I'm in like business mode, I go to the sell folder. If I'm in everything you need is in that one folder. It's not just endless list of apps. So the next thing is identify when you use your phone the most. So now we're kind of switching gears into really looking at the intention you want to set with your phone and app usage going forward this year. It is no secret that a lot of us would love to get more time in our day, right? We're probably sat there saying, oh, if I only had like an extra hour a day, I could be earning X amount, or I could be doing all these things. The fact of it is that we actually could get that hour, and we have got that hour. It's just a case of really being strict with yourself as to how you use that hour in other ways, right? So a really low hanging fruit with this is looking at your phone usage and, you know, your social media scrolling and all that good stuff, right? So when do you get in a scroll hole the most? Is it in the morning? Is it after breakfast, before bed, when you're waiting for your rice to boil for dinner? Like, what actually is it? And be really honest with yourself. When are you most likely to get into a scroll hole? So how does that make you feel as well? That's one question that I really want to ask you guys. When you come away from your morning scroll, evening scroll through Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, do you feel good? Do you feel sad? Do you feel depressed? Do you feel like jealous because you've seen other people having things that you don't? How do you feel? And, you know, especially if you're doing this first thing in the morning, be honest, is that setting you up for an ultra productive day in your business? Because the answer is probably no. I used to be a scrolling addict. Like 3 years ago, I would scroll for hours, and I mean absolutely hours. And I actually had to essentially go to therapy to unlearn how to do this. And I wouldn't even say that it was bad. It was probably like an hour a day I spent just like scrolling on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. So that's how bad it was. I literally had to go and unlearn the pattern that I'd learned, and the kind of reaction as soon as my phone pinged, as soon as a message came up, I was like, oh, grabbing my phone, as if it was as urgent as a phone call, right? And that's the thing, is that a lot of us say that we don't have time. A lot of us say that we're never in the mood. Could it be social media? Could it be the things you're doing right before you begin to, go throughout your workday? Could it be your morning routine? Could it be something in there that's not setting you up for the day? And I'm going to ask you, how does your social media scrolling actually make you feel? Let me know in the comments, because I would love to hear from you. And especially if you guys are watching the replay, be honest with yourself, okay? And if you need some harsh reality, right? If you go onto, I think Android has the same kind of thing. But if you go onto iPhone, onto screen time, you can actually see what apps you are using the most each week. It is eye-opening, right? So look at identifying patterns that arise. So if you're scrolling through Facebook and you feel like afterwards you feel a bit flat and a bit deflated and not quite, then get that out of your routine. Lock your phone away. There is an app, I can't think of what it's called right now. Sophie, you might know. It's the app that you scroll up on iPhone. It's basically like a shift. It's not work, but it's called something else. You can actually set different profiles. It's like, okay, from 10 a.m. till 2, basically it's on a do not disturb mode, and it will automatically do that at set days of the week. Really try and set yourself up, okay, for success, because if you guys are just in a massive scroll hole, it is not going to set yourself up for success, okay? And you know, even if there are certain accounts that you follow on social media, that you watch their stories, you look at their posts, and it actually makes you kind of feel unsteady. It doesn't make you feel, basically it makes you feel anything but excited and inspired to work on your business, then unfollow them, get them out of there. I've actually unfollowed friends, and I know that's going to be harsh, but I actually have got rid of a load of Facebook friends. I have 12 Facebook friends. I used to have about 400 because like I just need my Facebook feed to be a refreshing space. If I am going to go on Facebook, I want it to be something that energizes me and doesn't take away, right? Let's catch up with some comments. Helen says I turn off all notifications for all social media. Great, I love that. The moment I did that meant that I felt more in control of my time. Yes, exactly. Miriam says I've started giving myself 10 minutes per social media platform at one time and set a timer too. Yes, exactly that. So Run, Eat, Happy, Repeat says scrolling actually makes me start to feel sick after a while. It does not feel good. I got out of that habit a long time ago. Yes. Oh, Sophie says focus. Thank you. So it's the focus mode on iPhone. Karen says, hi, Karen. So guilty of this. Late night is the worst. Watching reels and TikToks about earrings. Yes. Tiny Treasures says, I really need to sort out my phone usage. I know it'll improve my life. Yes. And that's the thing, is that it will improve things for you. I know that it's quite a, generic piece of advice. But how many of you have actually actioned it? When people have said to you, do you know what? The first thing I did was stop scrolling and I felt so much better. A lot of you might be like, that sounds good, but you don't actually do it. This week, starting from after this live, monitor your social media usage or even set timers. Do something that's going to break the chain, that's going to break the habit, all right? Trust me, it will really, really make a big difference. So, identify what social media sites you use the most often and how they make you feel. Even if, you're using Twitter, and I hate Twitter. I really don't like Twitter. I have a Twitter account for now. Well, whether I'll keep it or not is another matter. But Twitter is something that I personally don't like. I don't even have Twitter app on my phone, I don't think. I also don't like TikTok and I don't like Snapchat either because of how they make me feel. So I just delete my accounts and just completely get off the platform. I know something that Sophie does is that she will delete the Facebook and the Instagram app from her phone over the weekend and then reinstall it back on Monday. It's a simple thing to do, guys. It's just a case of like just really breaking that chain and breaking the habit of you just picking up your phone and immediately going to Facebook. They make it so easy for you to do that now, and that's how you get into scroll holes. Let me just look at my notes real quick. So if you have really, really identified that there are some social media sites and some people that you follow that are just not doing you and your mental health any good, then give your phone working hours. Again, like I said, it's the Focus app. Thank you, Sophie. So just really give yourself some kind of guidelines for when you are wanting to scroll, and even if that means just deleting the apps off your phone altogether, then definitely give that a go. Okay, guys, so basically this whole live is about clearing your digital space. Last week we focused on your physical space, and week one we focused on really looking back on the year before and setting goals and intentions for this year. Okay, now we are focusing on your digital space, and I would even harness a guest. And if you loved last week when you really sorted out your office and your workspace, this week is really important. And don't just say, yeah, I'll get to it, and then don't do it. At least make sure to clear out your phone. At least make sure to clear out your downloads folder. At least make sure that you're creating space for you to be able to achieve those goals that you really want to get in 2022. And if you want to, for the last couple of minutes of this live, let me know what those goals are. I would love to know. Like, just proclaim it. Just say, this is my goal for 2022. Let me know what your goals are. So, let me just catch up on comments real quick. I think I missed a couple. Let me know if I've missed your comment. because I think Facebook might be having issues. But let me know what your goal is. And even if you're watching the replay, just let me know what your goal is, okay? Really, really make sure that you just know it. And if anyone ever asks you, you're like, yes, my goal is X, Y, Z. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to week 1, where we really just go through and we just review and we just do all the good stuff that you need to achieve your goals this year. Let me know. Murphy Magic Cocker, any tips on getting first customers? So these lives are mainly about the Handmade Bosses business reset. If you want help with that, I do have loads of stuff on my YouTube channel, which can be found in the link in bio. So if you go and have a look on my YouTube channel, there are loads of videos. There's even a playlist, how to get more customers in your Etsy business. So I definitely recommend watching that. But this live is mainly just about the guys who want to carry on from week 1 and week 2. And again, if you've missed it, go back and watch it. Really, we'd love to have you here. But it's just mainly to kind of carry that on and make sure that these guys have got everything they need to achieve their goals in 2022. Karen says, last week definitely helped me to begin sorting my workspace. Yes, exactly. That is amazing. So guys, I really hope this live was helpful, and please do make sure that you do actually do this, because it will honestly help you loads. And at the very least, if you don't kind of subscribe to the whole energy and kind of almost woo law of attraction kind of things that I say, then just do it to save yourself a bit of time, okay? That's like the least thing you're gonna gain from doing this exercise, right? So guys, I really, really hope that you enjoyed this live. Let me know if you're watching on the replay, and also comment as well, because I will get them after the live is over as well. So don't be afraid, like not to comment because I'm not live. I will still see them. But next week we are doing week 4. And week 4, we are talking about decluttering your Etsy shop. So we're getting in there and we are looking at all of your Etsy shops and how you can really make space for all of the good things coming in this year. But for now, guys, and that will be the same time, the same places next Monday. But for now, guys, I will catch you later on, and have a fantastic week. Bye, everyone.